Hey, welcome back to part 5? I think so. Anyway, so today we're going to start doing the beveling process with the file, the cleanup, the shaping, the draw down of the blade, trying to make everything nice and clean. What you're going to need for this episode, C-clamp, I hope you can see that. My cameraman's missing today. It's a nice little C-clamp, get one of these. If you don't have one, get yourself a board and just use like a 16 penny nail or whatever you have, roofing nails work, and just pound in to the board to hold the blade down. Try to avoid where you're going to file because you don't want to sit there and file the top of your nail off. And then you have to try to sit there later trying to get a nail out without a head. That's a pain in the ass. You're also going to need your farrier's rasp. You're going to need a draw file, or a bastard file works. It's my favorite kind of file, just because I like to say bad words. And let's get going. Okay, what you do is you just take your C-clamp. A little rusty, I gotta clean that up. It's okay. Take care of your tools, it saves you time. Oh, not quite. Close, but no cigar. Glad I'm not a NASA scientist, because that wouldn't fly so well. Just clamp it down. And try to keep everything out of your way, because you're going to need full range of motion. Gotta get her tight. I wear gloves to protect my hands from little burrs that the farrier's rasp creates. It's very sharp, so it creates little long spindles of steel. You get that in your hand, you're going to be miserable for about a week, or unless you want to cut your hand open and try to get those metal slivers out. It hurts. So gloves on. Let's move this hammer so it doesn't fall. This file we'll use later. So you got your farrier's rasp. You put it at about the same angle as your bevel. You start back at the shoulders. You sit there and pull backwards. And you don't want to saw because that ruins the teeth of your file. They fold over the sharp edges. See, you don't do that. It's more extra effort because you got to pull it backwards. And always try to file away from you because we're trying to develop that center line. This file is really dull. I'm going to get a different one. Like I said in a previous episode, once your files are dull and you just can't really get a bite out of your steel, save these for another knife. It's really good steel and I've never had any problems with them. They're very hard, so you might want to temper them a little bit softer, more into like the plum colors. But other than that, I've had a couple of knives of these and they just stay sharp forever. Well, let's go to the pile. I get these from my farrier. He just gives them away. If you guys have a local horseshoer, just ask him if you've got any spare files laying around that you can have. And most of the time, they'll tell you, yeah, I can't get rid of them fast enough, take them. And a lot of the times, they're still sharp enough for us to use. And, well, back to the filing. You just sit there, kind of start trying to develop your plunge cut by just, let's see if I can get this on camera. You just move the file in the same spot over and over. But go slow, take your time. This isn't a race. Just sit there, move back and forth, and try to... I'm very visual, I don't have to draw. But if you think drawing lines helps, go for it. Try to develop things that work for you. Just because I do it one way doesn't mean that you can do it that way or have to do it that way. Just find what makes yourself comfortable. Just do what you need to do. And just sit there and try to file towards that tip. Just nice even pressure. Back and forth. This is a little monotonous. This is why people love their grinders. It saves so much time. If you can't afford, let's say like a nice belt grinder right away, get yourself an angle grinder. You can use cutoff wheels, and you can also use the flappy paddles. Like this one's a little bit worn out, but it saves you so much time. They'll become your best friend. And if you do have an angle grinder, get yourself a flappy wheel, and as you're doing it, just put it at the same about 15-degree angle. Just make these slow, even passes. Back and forth, just nice and, you want to keep that straight, flat, and level. If you push too hard, you'll create divots that are a pain in the butt to get out. And got to keep it cool, because if you alter the temper at all, I know it's annealed and whatnot, we haven't hardened it, it's saving steps. And when you save steps, time is money. It's all just stuff that you've learned. And you just sit there and keep working towards the tip. I might be a little scatterbrained today. I've had about 4 cups of coffee, so I'm a little... Oh, I got my sunglasses on too. That's rude. I'm sorry. This takes a long time. And don't be afraid to push a little bit too. Oop. Except the board is twisting in my vise. There we go. And make sure it's a nice work height. You're not bent over, because your back will thank you later. Just sit there. Keep it kind of shoulders length so you don't have to bend over. You just push away. File, file, file. Something else to keep in mind, if your elbow or shoulder starts to hurt, stop. Go inside, take a break, take a painkiller if you can, and just let the inflammation go down, because you do not want to push yourself and hurt yourself. It's not worth it. Just take your time. This is a great time to have headphones in, listen to music, and daydream, about whatever you like. Whether it's like me, Star Trek or Lord of the Rings or hockey. Thinking about people that pissed me off in the past. Sometimes this outer scale from forging and annealing, normalizing, whatever, is a little bit tough to get through. But once you get through that, the metal should be a little soft. Don't let it discourage you. Once you get through it, you get to the nice soft annealed metal. Keep going, keep going. Okay, so you got the idea of making the bevels. What you want to do next, once you get the bevels mostly formed, you want to put it on its side. I gotta close up my clamp a little bit. Let me show you real quick. See, it's starting to get, like, here's the center line, you can really see it. There's the shiny bits of metal. This oxide is sometimes just a little bit of a pain in the butt to get through. But now we're going to form the profile. We're going to make sure that's nice and clean and straight. Clamp it in just like you would the other way. Make sure it's not going to move on you too much. Same thing. Push towards the tip. If you have to, you can use a little rougher edge. I wouldn't use the rougher edge on the bevels, because sometimes they make deep cuts that just are such a pain in the butt to get out. I really recommend not doing it. So, but for the profile, you'd be fine. Yeah, look at that, it moves a lot more metal. It's a good time to form the tip too, because I didn't file my glove. Oh well. It's also another reason I wear gloves. I'm happy that wasn't my fingernail. Just like that, keep pushing forward. You can see where the high and low spots are. The high spots will obviously be shiny because they've been filed. The low spots are going to be black where the oxide still is. Keep going towards that tip. If you have a low spot, like I've got a low spot here, and this is shiny, you want to file in front of that low spot. Get that point just a little bit down, so you have an even edge. All right, never hurts to check. You just glance, you kind of just, it's a learned skill. Just look where it's straight, unless you want it to have a slight taper, which is fine. A little bit of high spot here. This takes a while, that's why grinders are so nice. And the more forging you do, the less filing you have to do, because it's more even, more flat. Just saves lots of time. Right here's all the metal that's come off. Keep going.